To describe the whole system is we're using basically what's called an air economizer, which is just to simply pull outside air in, run it through a filtration, make sure the air gets in there is clean. We're exhausting hot air out the roof, we're mixing it with outside air, and then returning that air back into the data center at 70 degrees. When the temperature goes above 70 degrees, we have a company called Colorado, which made a fairly interesting technology. It's called an indirect evaporative cooling. So it's like a swamp cooler, except without the swamp. There is no moisture released into the room. Currently, we're taking about 54 kilowatts to cool off our data center. When we're running just on the air economizer, we're going to drop to 0.6 kilowatts, 0.6 kilowatts, which is about a 95% reduction in total cooling. When it gets above that 70-degree outside temperature and these Colorados start to kick in, they will pull some power, but still vastly less than what those crack units did, because all they're running on is a fan. On top of that, we've then added solar cells, which drive the whole system, and should the power fail in the complex, we're doubling the size of our battery to keep our computers up, but that solar power will immediately be diverted to running the Colorados directly, as opposed to feeding the grid, and therefore we should be able to stay up for through what we think is any possible shutdown of power. The excess power we can even run, if our batteries on our main system fail, we could use the solar power to actually drive some of our computers. So overall, we are going to be cutting the power across the board to all systems more than 70%. The savings on this system from year to year is, well, we're going to save about $35,000 in electricity cost alone. Plus, with the solar energy, Xcel is going to pay us about $6,000 a year in rebates. Plus, we get paid by Xcel for every ton of air conditioning we're able to reduce. So we're going from what was 60 tons originally of cooling down to, from an energy standpoint, about 2. While it is a custom system, it was built off modular components. So you can go buy part XYZ, build it just like we did. We've altered the technology to do this, so like I say, it is a prototype, but it is a repeatable prototype. Anybody else could do this anywhere. The value of this thing, from a technology standpoint, is that the data centers currently are consuming nearly the same amount of power as the airline industry. If this type of technology were to be used, keep in mind that it always takes more energy to cool off a data center than it does to run the data center. So if we could use this technology, the payoff is like 3 years, and every data center could cut its power utilization more than in half, and that's what's really exciting here. So we're talking potential savings in the U.S. and the world in the billions.